before he was Iron Man, before the billion-dollar franchises, red carpet glamour, and Oscar gold. Robert Downey Jr. was Hollywood's cautionary tale. He was the kid born into the spotlight, the prodigy with undeniable talent, the actor critics called the next Brando. But for years, his greatest performances weren't on the screen. They were in courtrooms, rehab centers, and jail cells, hiding the truth from the world and himself. He wasn't just fighting a career slump. He was fighting for his life. In the 90s, his name became synonymous with scandal. Addiction, arrests, lost roles, and public meltdowns. At one point, he was so deep in the hole that even Hollywood, the town of second chances, gave up on him. And yet, against every odd, against every headline, against even his own self-destruction, he climbed back. This isn't just a story of fame or failure. This is about what happens when a man loses everything, then dares to rebuild not just a career, but a soul. Because Robert Downey Jr. didn't just make a comeback. He redefined what one looks like. From a prison cell to a Marvel throne. From a broken addict to an Academy Award winner. This is the story of how Hollywood's most troubled star became its most beloved hero. This is Prison to Oscar, the redemption of Robert Downey Jr. Hollywood royalty with a price. Robert Downey Jr. was born in 1965 into a world of cinema. His father, Robert Downey Sr., was an underground filmmaker. His mother, Elsie, an actress. Robert was basically raised on film sets, but fame came with shadows. His father introduced him to marijuana at the age of 6. That moment, Downey would later say, changed the course of his life. By his early 20s, Robert had already been in major films like Less Than Zero and Chaplin. Critics raved. He was nominated for an Oscar. Everyone said he was the next big thing. But behind the scenes, his addiction was spiraling out of control. The fall, addiction, and arrests. Between 1996 and 2001, Robert Downey Jr. became more famous for his mugshots than his movies. He was arrested multiple times for drug possession, heroin, cocaine, you name it. At one point, he walked into a neighbor's home and passed out in a random kid's bed. That's how far gone he was. In a court appearance, he famously said, "It's like I've got a shotgun in my mouth, and I like the taste of metal." Dark, chilling, and heartbreakingly honest. Despite attempts at rehab, nothing stuck. Eventually, the court had enough. In 1999, he was sentenced to 3 years in state prison. Rock bottom. Prison wasn't some celebrity slap on the wrist. Downey served real time in a California state facility. No movie trailers, no special treatment. Just bars, concrete, and regrets. For someone who had walked red carpets and starred in Oscar-nominated roles, this was a brutal fall. But it was also the turning point. Isolation forced him to confront the truth. No one was coming to save him. If he wanted to change, it had to start from within. The climb back. When he got out, Hollywood didn't exactly open its arms. Insurance companies refused to cover him. Studios saw him as a liability. He was talented, but dangerous. Then came Mel Gibson. Yes, that Mel Gibson. He cast Robert in The Singing Detective and personally paid the insurance bond to get him on set. It was risky, but it worked. Small roles followed. Gothica. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Critics started noticing. Slowly, Downey was rebuilding, brick by painful brick. Iron Man, the gamble of a lifetime. In 2008, Jon Favreau fought to cast Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark in Iron Man. Marvel wasn't sold. The character was a genius billionaire with a dark past, ironically perfect for Robert. "I knew it had to be him," said Favreau. He understood the complexity of Tony Stark because he lived it. The film was a gamble. A second-tier superhero, a comeback actor, a fledgling studio. But when Iron Man hit theaters, it exploded. Critics praised Downey's wit, charm, and vulnerability. Fans were hooked. And just like that, Robert Downey Jr. wasn't a has-been anymore. He was a legend in the making. Building a legacy, the Marvel era. Iron Man wasn't a one-hit wonder. It launched the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Over the next decade, Robert starred in Avengers, Civil War, Endgame, and more. Tony Stark became iconic, and so did the man who played him. Robert didn't just act in these movies. He owned them. His improvisation, his leadership on set, and his deep understanding of the character shaped the MCU's tone and success. Behind the scenes, he mentored younger actors, including Tom Holland. On screen, he evolved Tony Stark from a playboy arms dealer to a selfless hero. When Tony snapped his fingers in Endgame, it wasn't just the end of a storyline. It was the culmination of a real-life redemption arc. From superhero to Oscar winner. In 2023, Downey shocked the world again, this time in Oppenheimer, gone with the quips and gadgets. In their place, Louis Strauss, a complex, nuanced character in a tense historical drama. It was a full-circle moment. Critics hailed his performance as mesmerizing and career-defining. And in 2024, he finally won it. The Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. From Prison to the Oscars. From a punchline to a powerhouse. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Robert's transformation isn't just professional. Personally, he's a different man. He's been clean since 2003. He married producer Susan Levin, who played a huge role in his recovery. Together, they built a life, a family, and a production company. He speaks openly about addiction and recovery, offering hope to others struggling with their demons. His story has inspired countless fans, not just to admire him, but to believe that change is possible. The man behind the mask. Robert Downey Jr. isn't just Iron Man. He's not just a comeback story. He's proof that rock bottom doesn't have to be the end. It can be the beginning of something greater. He once said, "Remember that just because you hit bottom doesn't mean you have to stay there." That line hits harder when you know where he's been. Oh, ultra. From jail cells to red carpets, from addiction to applause. Robert Downey Jr.'s story is more than Hollywood drama. It's human resilience. He didn't just reclaim his career. He redefined it. He didn't just survive, he soared. And whether you see him as Tony Stark, Louis Strauss, or just Robert, one thing's for sure. He's living proof that no matter how dark the path, redemption is always possible. Robert Downey Jr.'s story isn't just about talent. It's not even just about redemption. It's about ownership, owning your past, your pain, your mistakes, and then turning them into something powerful. From the darkest days behind bars to standing on the stage, Oscar in hand, he showed the world that resilience is louder than failure, that recovery is possible, and that sometimes the hero's journey happens off-screen. He didn't just act his way out of the shadows. He lived his way out. And maybe that's what makes him so magnetic. Because when he puts on the Iron Man suit or delivers a chilling performance like Louis Strauss, you believe him. You believe him because you know he earned every second of his second chance. So whether you remember him as the troubled genius in Chaplin, the fast-talking detective in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, or the billionaire Avenger who snapped his fingers to save a universe, Robert Downey Jr. is living proof that it's never too late to rewrite your legacy. Thanks for watching Prison to Oscar, the redemption of Robert Downey Jr. If this story inspired you, drop a like, subscribe for more incredible journeys, and let us know your favorite RDJ moment in the comments below. Until next time, remember, rock bottom isn't the end. Sometimes it's where the hero begins.